African parents need to stop pushing out kids like a virus. Auntie, why? You can have as many kids as you want, that's on you, but stop pushing out kids like viruses. The moment they get married, they think the next thing that they have to do is a contest of having as many kids as possible, is having as many kids as they can. They don't even know the difference between legacy and inheritance. They just think legacy and inheritance is pushing out as much babies as they can. That's all they think. They don't know the difference between legacy and inheritance. And legacy is the kind of impact you leave on others. Legacy means leaving your mark on others. And inheritance, on the other hand, is what you pass on to others. These two has nothing to do with having children. But when it comes to African parents, like, they won't stop popping out kids. You never see them kissing. You never see them being romantic. You never see them loving themselves. But all of a sudden, 15 kids. Why? Like, why? Yeah, these men will marry women and lock them up with 15 kids, 20 kids, 5 kids, 7 kids. The woman is single in her marriage. She will suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer and die just for them to come and say she was a good woman with 13 kids. When it comes to building a life, they think building a life means how many kids you've had. They think building a life means, are you married? Do you have a kids? If you have kids, how many kids do you have? If you have so many kids, how many sons do you have? Between male and female, apparently sons are more valuable and better to have than daughters. When they give birth to you and they die, they leave nothing but debt and trauma. That's all they leave. If there's any inheritance and legacy that they leave, it's debt and trauma. They will abuse and use you. They won't heal themselves before having kids. They won't go to any counseling or therapy before having kids, because black people don't need therapy. Black people have God. Black people have Jesus. Fine, you can believe in whatever you want to believe in, but heal yourself. You don't want to go to therapy or counseling. Heal yourself before you have babies, because if you don't, there's a 100% chance that you will pass your trauma onto those poor children. If you don't heal yourself, the only legacy and inheritance you're going to leave is debt and trauma. That's all you leave. And most of the time, that's what they leave. Some of them have kids with no idea on how to take care of the kids, but they're having kids because kids are a blessing and God will provide. The only one providing here is you. You are the one providing. So make sure you have the funds to be able to raise your kids. They pop out all these kids with the inability to take care of them because God will provide. If you have money and you want to have as many kids as you can and you can take care of them, fine, that's on you. But these are some of the ways in which popping out viruses like kids affects the children and the parents. Number one is it affects the oldest child the most. If you're an oldest child, especially an oldest daughter, I'm sure that growing up you had to sacrifice your childhood to take care of your other siblings. Meanwhile, you are also a child growing up, because that happened to me. Growing up, there were things I couldn't do. There were things that I wanted to do, like extracurricular activities, hobbies. I couldn't do them because I had to come back home and take care of kids that I didn't give birth to. I had to come back home and become a second parent. So when you have so many kids, the oldest, who is also a child, ends up becoming a second mother. Some of you were changing diapers at 8 years old, and you were told that it's good to learn so that when you grow up, you can also change your baby's diapers. Why are you talking about having a baby at such a young age? That's all they groom your mind for: baby, marriage, cleaning, cooking. It also places an emotional and financial stress on you to take care of your siblings. And you also need to lead by example. Meanwhile, we are all kids. It's my first time here. How about the parents lead by example? Since we are the kids, how about the parents live by example? Why is the pressure being put on me to live by example? As if I've been here before. None of us have been here before. You are the parent. Be a parent. There's also lack of individual attention and bonding. When you have so many kids at the same time, you are not able to appeal to their needs and give them the proper care that they have. Some of the kids end up being emotionally neglected, physically neglected, mentally neglected. They are not being loved and validated enough at home, and then they end up seeking attention from somewhere else, and then they end up putting themselves in trouble. They end up attracting the wrong kind of people, the wrong group of friends. They end up doing the wrong doings because they are not receiving the love and attention that is needed for their development. They are not receiving that at home. Because if a child is truly getting what they need at home, why would they go somewhere else? It also impacts the mother's health, because like I said at the beginning, these men will lock you up with kids. Yeah, growing up, I saw this happen so many times, and I always felt so sad for the mothers. I always felt so sad for them, because why are you also allowing it? Yeah, because it's almost like they are locking you up with kids to keep you down, to control you, so you can't chase your dreams. Yeah, like every time you're ready to chase your dreams, you get pregnant. Every time you're about to do something for yourself and in your life, you get pregnant. You have a baby, he leaves you to go and live in another country for 1 year. The baby is on you, you're suffering, you're stressed, you're frustrated. It leads you to resentment. It makes you angry. When you have fewer children, you're able to focus on your children and make sure that they get the developmental needs that they need to grow up. And most of these men, yeah, most of them don't even want to be fathers. They don't want to be fathers. Some of them are doing it because their father told them to. Some of them are doing it because that's what society expects them to be. And some of these mothers too don't want to be mothers. Most parents don't want to be parent. They became a parent out of convenience. They became a parent, or they're only together because they had sex and then a baby came out. So then normally in Christianity or like in African culture, in some of them, if a man impregnates a woman, you are forced to marry her. So most of them don't even like each other, but they ended up with each other based on what they did a few years ago, and then the kids ends up suffering for it. Yeah, most of them don't want to be fathers. They lock you up with so many kids and they leave all the kids on you to take care of. That is not happening to me, okay? I'm not about to get married, have kids, get all the kids dumped on me, whilst the man can just up his bag and go travel the world. I'm just stuck at home taking care of babies, because growing up, that's what I saw happening to my mother. That is not about to happen to me. Okay? Yeah? And some of these men who are going on so-called business trips are just out there sleeping with anything they find on the street. Some even come back and do it here. Yeah, because be careful who you give your womb and yourself to, because these men out here, they are not worth it. Like, it's like they are being handed women for free. And sometimes it's so easy to do this to women, because women have been programmed to not know our worth. We don't know our worth, we don't know our value, we don't know how worthy we are as women. That we allow them to just abuse, use us, lock us up with kids, use us as baby making machines, abuse us and all that stuff. Be careful who you give your womb to, be careful who you give your value to, because these men out there, they are not worth it. You will give your womb to them and the only thing they will leave you with is trauma, kids and debt.